So, a moment I had with God was about 4 years ago. I was at the lowest point I ever was in my life. I had no identity besides being a mom. I was a stay-at-home mom for a really long time, and I loved every part of it. I loved being able to be home with my children, and I never would take that back in for anything. But one thing I would change is that I would have stuck with being Kristen and not just mom. They needed to see me be me too. But anyways, sorry, ADHD. 4 years ago, my one sister sent me this particular clip from a pastor, and at the time I wasn't really into watching sermons. I wasn't into, oh, I'm gonna reach out to God. I was more like, no, Kristen got this. But anyways, so, but I watched it, and something like pulled out my spirit, and I haven't had that pull since I was like 13 years old. And at this particular time, I was in my early 30s, which I'm still mid 30s. So I went with the pull, and I started following different pastors, and this one particular pastor had this sermon called Lonely Places, Pastor Stephen Furtick, and this message spoke to me in a way that I needed to enact my spirit because I couldn't do it on my own. I needed to have something like, Kristen, you need to get up. You need to change something. You can't be doing what you're doing anymore. And at this particular point, I was starting to get pretty disciplined after following pastors and starting to get into the Bible on my own. So this particular message was called Lonely Places that I was listening to, and the pastor was sitting down like towards the end of the message and just kept saying, I'm tired, I'm sick and tired. And I just kept hearing pastor. So I went with it. And the next day I actually reached out to Liberty University, and I found out the process to get into seminary. I reached out to my old pastor, and I reached out to the old chaplain. So it ended up working out where I was able to attend Liberty University, what I'm currently doing. And I've just reached my halfway point, and I currently have a great mentor that keeps my butt in line, and I have a great internship going with the church that I'm affiliated with now. They're great people, and I just got licensed to be able to marry people in the state that I live in. And yeah, that's what's happening. I'm following God, and I'm doing this thing. And this path has not been easy in the least bit. I have become so emotional. I cry over everything, where I used to not cry at all. I used to just get mad over everything. I had such a temper. And now I can't even squash a bug. I will cry. And that is fact. I am so emotional, but in a good way. And I will say that the one important thing I've learned with this path is love. God's been showing me love that I have craved my entire life, and I am able to show love in a healthy way to people now that I didn't realize I wasn't showing before most of my life. So I guess one thing I'd take away is, when you're with God, listen to God and take it day by day, because He's going to change your perspective and give you a new mind. He is going to renew your mind. And with that renewal, you're going to see people differently. And it's a beautiful thing. So I suggest, if you're willing, just let it happen day by day.